What if Obi-Wan forgave Anakin on Mustafar? One choice, one moment. Everything changes. Obi-Wan stands over Anakin's burning body, his former apprentice, his brother, the man who just slaughtered younglings, who betrayed everything, who nearly killed Padme. He should walk away, let him burn, let justice be served. But he doesn't. He reaches down into the flames. His hand closes around Anakin's wrist. The heat sears his palm. The lava scorches his robes. He pulls, drags Anakin away from the edge, away from death. This single act of mercy will reshape the entire galaxy, the Empire, the Rebellion, the Jedi, the Force itself. Because the monster who became Vader, he gets a second chance. And that changes everything. The heat is unbearable as Obi-Wan drags Anakin away from the lava's edge. Every second counts. Every meter of distance matters. Anakin's body is broken beyond recognition. His remaining arm clutches at Obi-Wan's robes as he screams in agony. The sound is inhuman, mechanical, filled with pain that no words can express. The dark side still swirls around him like smoke, but beneath it, Obi-Wan senses something else. Anguish, regret, the faintest flicker of the man he once knew. Padme's final words echo in his mind. There's still good in him. I know there is. The Force itself seems to pull at him, showing him two futures branching from this moment. In one, he walks away, and Anakin becomes Vader, the Emperor's enforcer, a symbol of terror. In the other, he reaches down and pulls his brother from the fire. The choice should be impossible. Anakin slaughtered younglings. He betrayed everything they stood for. He nearly killed Padme. And yet Obi-Wan cannot leave him to burn. Not like this. He activates his comlink with shaking hands. Bail. I need immediate medical extraction. Mustafar. Coordinates attached. It's urgent. There's a long pause on the other end. Obi-Wan? What happened? The Sith Lord Palpatine spoke of. I found him. He needs help. Bail Organa doesn't ask questions. He's a man who understands when to trust his allies. A medical frigate is already en route to Polis Massa. I'll meet you there. Obi-Wan looks down at Anakin's ruined face. His former Padawan's eyes are barely open, flickering between yellow and blue. Master! The word comes out as a rasp. I'm here, Anakin. I'm here. Don't talk. Save your strength. What have I done? What have I done? We'll deal with that later. Right now, we survive. The medical frigate arrives within the hour, and Anakin is rushed into surgery. Medical droids swarm around him, their appendages moving with mechanical precision. The burns cover over 70% of his body. His lungs are damaged from inhaling superheated air. Both legs are gone. One arm is gone. What remains is barely enough to sustain life. The lead medical droid, MD5, reports the grim statistics to Obi-Wan. The patient's survival probability is less than 15%. Even with cybernetic replacement, his quality of life will be severely compromised. Do everything you can, spare no expense. The procedures will be extensive and painful. He will require months of rehabilitation. I don't care. Save him. The droids get to work. Bacta tanks are prepared. Cybernetic limbs are measured and fitted. Colto infusions keep his organs from failing. Obi-Wan watches through the observation window as they piece his former apprentice back together. Bail Organa joins him. His face is grave. You're certain this is wise? No, but it's the right thing to do, even after what he's done, especially after what he's done. If we become executioners, we're no better than Palpatine. Days pass in a blur of surgeries and recovery. Anakin drifts in and out of consciousness. When he's under the anesthesia, he dreams. Terrible dreams. He sees the younglings again, their faces frozen in terror as his lightsaber cuts them down. He sees the Jedi Temple burning, He sees Padme's face as he force chokes her. He sees Obi-Wan's anguished expression on Mustafar. The dreams are so vivid, so real, that he screams himself awake. The medical droids have to sedate him repeatedly. Obi-Wan sits vigil outside the medical bay. He meditates, trying to process his own trauma. He replays the duel in his mind. Every strike, every word. The moment he realized he would have to kill his brother. The moment he chose mercy instead. Was it the right choice? He doesn't know. The Force offers no clear answers, only silence and the weight of consequence. On the third day, Padme regains consciousness in her own medical bay. The trauma of Mustafar, combined with the stress of childbirth, has pushed her body to its limits. But something changed when Obi-Wan made his choice. The medical droids detected a shift. Her life signs stabilized. Where there was despair now, there is the faintest spark of hope. Obi-Wan rushes to her side as the droids announce the twins are ready to be born. Medically, she's still in danger, but she's fighting. She's choosing to live. The delivery takes hours, but it's successful. 2 healthy babies emerge into the galaxy. A boy and a girl, Luke and Leia. Obi-Wan holds them as Padme recovers, her eyes barely open. They're beautiful. Yes, they are. And their father? Alive. Barely. Padme's expression is complicated. Relief, anger, grief, all at once. I should hate you for saving him. Part of me does, but part of me is grateful, because our children deserve to know their father, even if he's a monster. She closes her eyes, exhaustion overwhelming her. The medical droids assure Obi-Wan she'll make a full recovery. He takes the twins to a private room. They're so small, so innocent. They have no idea what their father has become, what he's done. Obi-Wan makes a silent vow. These children will not suffer for their father's sins. They will be protected, loved, raised to be better than the generation that failed them. He rocks them gently, humming an old Jedi lullaby. His own master Qui-Gon used to hum it. The memory brings tears to his eyes. How did things go so wrong? How did they fail Anakin so completely? The questions have no answers, only the weight of regret. Across the galaxy on Coruscant, the newly crowned Emperor Palpatine senses a disturbance. Vader lives, but something is wrong. The connection between them has been severed. Where there was once an apprentice fully consumed by the dark side, now there is confusion, conflict, weakness. Palpatine's yellow eyes narrow in his ornate throne room. His plan was perfect. Vader was supposed to be his instrument of terror, his enforcer, his symbol of the Jedi's failure. But if Vader has turned against him, then he becomes a liability, a loose end that must be cut. He summons his Inquisitors via hologram, former Jedi he corrupted and twisted to serve the Empire. The Grand Inquisitor bows. What is thy bidding, my master? Find Anakin Skywalker. He has betrayed the Sith and must be eliminated. Bring me his head. It shall be done. Do not fail me. The consequences will be severe. The hologram flickers out. Palpatine sits back in his throne. He's already considering contingencies. Without Vader, he'll need a new enforcer. The Inquisitors will serve for now, but he's already planning something greater, a weapon that can instill fear across the entire galaxy. Project Stardust must be accelerated. On Polis Massa, the days blend together. Anakin undergoes surgery after surgery. The cybernetics are cutting edge, but the pain is constant. His nervous system rejects the implants, at first requiring additional procedures. The medical droids have to chemically suppress his immune response. When he finally wakes for more than a few minutes at a time, he wishes they'd let him die. The pain is excruciating. Every nerve ending in his body screams. But worse than the physical pain is the psychological torment. He remembers everything, every single atrocity he committed. The younglings, the Jedi, Padme. The memories play on an endless loop in his mind. He tries to reach for the dark side to numb the pain, but it feels different now. Corrupted. Wrong. Like a drug he's trying to quit. The withdrawals are agonizing. Finally, after 2 weeks of recovery, Anakin wakes up fully conscious in the medical bay. He tries to sit up, but his new cybernetic limbs don't respond properly. The neural interfaces are still calibrating. He looks down at himself. Metal where flesh used to be. Scars covering every inch of exposed skin. He's a monster on the outside to match the monster within. Then he sees Obi-Wan sitting in the corner. His former master looks exhausted. Older. The weight of everything that's happened shows in the lines of his face. Gray has begun to streak his auburn hair. Anakin's voice comes out as a mechanical rasp, thanks to the damage to his throat and the respirator they installed. You should have left me to die. Perhaps, but I didn't. Why? Because you were my brother Anakin. You still are, even after everything. The words break something inside Anakin. Tears stream down his scarred face, mixing with the Bacta residue. I killed them, Obi-Wan. The younglings. I killed them all. I saw their faces. I heard them scream. And I cut them down anyway. I know. How can you even look at me? With difficulty. But I'm trying. The door opens and Padme enters. She's weak, still recovering, but she insisted on seeing him. Her hair is disheveled, dark circles under her eyes, but she's alive. She's on her feet. Anakin's breath catches. Padme, I'm so sorry. I almost killed you. I felt your hands around my throat. You were so consumed by darkness that you couldn't even see what you were doing. I know. There's no excuse for what I did. Padme, I loved you. I still love you. You're right. There isn't an excuse. And love isn't enough, Anakin. You taught me that on Mustafar. You showed me that love, twisted by fear, becomes possession, becomes violence. Their marriage is shattered. The love that once bound them together is buried under layers of trauma and betrayal. But she's alive, and he's alive. And between them are 2 children who deserve better than this. Anakin, do you want to meet them? Your children. More than anything. But I don't deserve to. No, you don't. But they deserve to know their father. Even if you're not ready to be one. Padme brings the twins to him. Luke and Leia wrapped in blankets, sleeping peacefully. Anakin reaches out with his new cybernetic hand, but Padme pulls them back. You can look, but you don't get to hold them. Not yet. Maybe not ever. You don't get to be their father, Anakin. Not after what you've done. You have to earn that right. How? By being better. By proving every single day that you're more than the monster you became. And even then it might not be enough. I'll spend the rest of my life trying. Good. Because that's what it will take. The rest of your life. And maybe that still won't be enough. Anakin nods, understanding. He looks at his children, his son and daughter, and makes a silent vow. He will spend the rest of his life trying to be worthy of them, even if he never succeeds. Obi-Wan pulls Anakin aside later that day once Padme has returned to her quarters. We need to discuss Palpatine. He's declared himself Emperor, and the Republic has become the Galactic Empire. I know. I helped him do it. I stood by his side and watched him corrupt everything we fought for. That's why we need your help now. You know his plans, his strategies, his weaknesses. The rebellion needs that information. There's a rebellion already. It's just forming. Bail Organa is coordinating with other senators who opposed Palpatine's rise. Mon Mothma, Bail Antilles, Garm Bel Iblis. They're laying the groundwork for organized resistance, but they need every advantage they can get. Against the full might of the Empire, they'll be crushed within months without proper intelligence. Anakin sits up properly for the first time. His cybernetic limbs whir and click as he moves. I'll tell you everything I know. Every conversation I had with Palpatine. Every plan he mentioned. Every secret I learned. Where he keeps his hidden facilities, the identities of his most loyal followers, his contingency plans, his fears, everything. It won't make up for what I did, but it's a start. It's more than a start, Anakin. It's the only way forward. Over the next several days, Anakin provides detailed intelligence. He reveals the locations of secret Imperial facilities scattered across the galaxy. Black sites where political prisoners disappear. Weapons development laboratories working on terrifying new technologies. Shipyards constructing the Imperial fleet in secret. He identifies key Imperial officers by name, rank, and disposition. Some can potentially be turned. Others are true believers who will serve Palpatine unto death. He warns them about the Inquisitors and provides their known identities. Former Jedi twisted by torture and dark side corruption. He tells them about Project Stardust, a superweapon capable of destroying entire planets. It's still in early development, but Palpatine has made it his top priority. The Emperor believes fear of total annihilation will keep systems in line. Finally, he reveals Palpatine's obsession with immortality. The Emperor has been researching ancient Sith techniques to preserve his consciousness, transfer his essence, cheat death itself. If he succeeds, the galaxy will never be free. Bail Organa takes this information and begins coordinating with his fellow senators. The intelligence is invaluable. It gives the nascent rebellion a fighting chance. But not everyone is comfortable with its source. Many in the movement know who Anakin Skywalker is. They know what he did. Mon Mothma, in particular, is deeply opposed to trusting him. She sends a strongly worded message to Bail. We cannot accept the help of a child murderer. His crimes are beyond forgiveness. If we work with him, we lose all moral authority. Bail's response is measured but firm. I understand your concerns, but we must separate our personal feelings from strategic necessity. Skywalker's intelligence could save millions of lives. That has to matter. Mon Mothma reluctantly agrees, but makes her position clear. The moment he becomes a liability, he must be dealt with. Permanently. The debate highlights a fundamental question that will plague the rebellion for years. Can someone who fell so far truly be redeemed? And even if personal redemption is possible, does that erase the debt owed to the victims? There are no easy answers. Master Yoda arrives on Polis Massa via hologram, his ancient eyes filled with sadness and doubt. A live young Skywalker is, I sense. A grave mistake this may prove to be. Master Yoda, I understand your concerns, but Anakin has agreed to help us fight the Empire. Help us he may. Trust him I cannot. Consume him the dark side did. So easily turn did he. What stops him from turning again? Nothing except his choice to change. And we have to believe that choice matters. Believe you can, but watch him I will closely. And if fall again he does end him, I must without hesitation. The old Jedi Master has seen too much betrayal to risk another. His warning is not empty. He will kill Anakin himself if necessary. The conversation is interrupted by alarm klaxons blaring throughout the facility. Sensors detect 3 ships approaching fast. Imperial signatures. The Inquisitors have found them. How? We've been so careful. They must have tracked our transmissions, or sensed Anakin through the Force. Either way, we're out of time. Obi-Wan rushes to the medical bay, where Anakin is still recovering. His cybernetic legs are barely functional. We have to move. Now. I can barely walk without assistance. The neural interfaces aren't fully calibrated. Then I'll carry you. But we're not leaving Padme and the children behind. They evacuate toward the main hangar, where Bail's ship is waiting. But the Inquisitors are faster. 3 figures in dark armor drop from their ships through the hangar ceiling. Lightsabers ignite with synchronized precision. The Grand Inquisitor leads them, his yellow eyes gleaming with malice. Anakin Skywalker. Lord Vader, you have betrayed the Empire and must face the consequences. I am no lord, not anymore. That title died on Mustafar. Then you are a traitor, and traitors die screaming. The Inquisitors attack with brutal efficiency. Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber and moves to intercept them, drawing their attention away from the civilians. His blue blade flashes in the hangar lights as he duels 2 of them simultaneously. Get Padme and the children to safety now. Anakin, I can't leave you to face them alone. You're not recovered. You're not. I'm here, and I can fight. Anakin ignites his own lightsaber. His movements are stiff, his body still healing from the extensive injuries and surgeries. Every motion sends pain shooting through his nervous system. But the muscle memory is there. Years of training and combat experience guide his blade. The 3rd Inquisitor rushes at him, a female Twi'lek, spinning her double-bladed saber in a deadly arc. Anakin blocks her strikes barely. His cybernetic arm absorbs the impact, but the neural feedback makes him grit his teeth. Pain shoots through his body, but he pushes through it. This is his penance, his chance to protect instead of destroy. The Inquisitor presses her advantage, forcing him back toward the wall. You were supposed to lead us, Lord Vader. We were supposed to bring order to the galaxy under your command. We believed in you. I was a fool, and I won't make that mistake again. Belief without question is just slavery. The Emperor manipulated all of us. She snarls and increases her attack speed. Her blade becomes a blur. Anakin's defensive form is sloppy compared to his peak, but he's fighting with purpose now. Not rage, not hatred, purpose. He's protecting his family, his friends, the innocents who would suffer under the Empire's tyranny. The distinction matters more than he ever realized. His blade moves faster now, finding openings in the Inquisitor's otherwise perfect technique. He disarms her with a precise strike that severs her saber in 2, then uses the force to push her hard into the durasteel wall. She crumples unconscious. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan faces the Grand Inquisitor and his companion. The Grand Inquisitor is by far the most skilled. His spinning blade technique is difficult to counter, and he coordinates perfectly with his partner. They attack in tandem like a well-oiled machine. One goes high while the other goes low. One feints while the other strikes. But Obi-Wan is a master of Soresu, the most defensive form. He defends with minimal movement, letting their aggression work against them. Each attack is deflected with the smallest motion necessary. He conserves energy while they expend it. When they overextend, he strikes. His blade flashes out and cuts through the 2nd Inquisitor's weapon. A force push sends them sprawling across the hangar floor. The Grand Inquisitor snarls in frustration. His partner is down. His other companion is unconscious. And now Anakin joins the fight. Together, master and former apprentice fight as they once did during the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan defends while Anakin attacks. Their styles complement each other perfectly after years of fighting side by side. The Grand Inquisitor realizes he's outmatched and grows desperate. He abandons technique in favor of raw aggression. His spinning blade becomes erratic, dangerous. He's trying to create an opening through chaos. But Anakin and Obi-Wan have faced worse. They've fought Sith Lords and droid armies and impossible odds. One desperate Inquisitor isn't enough. The Grand Inquisitor sees his defeat approaching and makes a final gambit. He throws a thermal detonator, not at them, but at the ceiling. The explosion rocks the hangar. Debris rains down. Metal beams collapse. The structural integrity is compromised. "We're not finished, Skywalker. The Emperor will see you dead, and everyone you love will die screaming. Let him try. I'm done running from my past." The Grand Inquisitor and his surviving companion retreat to their ships. They flee into hyperspace. The hangar is damaged but stable. Bail's ship lifts off with Padme, and the twins safely aboard. They've escaped, but barely. The close call makes one thing clear. They can't stay on Polis Massa. The Empire knows where they are. They need a new base. Somewhere secure. Somewhere Palpatine won't think to look. Bail suggests Alderaan. My home. The planet is secure. I can provide facilities, resources, protection, but we'll need to be careful. Too much activity and the Empire will notice. They establish a hidden compound in Alderaan's mountain ranges. It's remote, defensible, equipped with sensor dampeners to hide their presence. The facility is small, just enough room for essential personnel. Bail, Obi-Wan, Padme, Anakin, a handful of trusted guards and support staff. It becomes the seed of the rebellion, the starting point for organized resistance against the Empire. Anakin spends his days in a small room, staring at the walls, thinking about the younglings he killed, the Jedi he betrayed, the Republic he helped destroy. The weight of his crimes is crushing. Some days he can barely function. Padme tends to the twins while keeping her distance from him. They share space, but not intimacy. Not anymore. That bridge may never be rebuilt. Obi-Wan visits him regularly, checking on his recovery and his mental state. "Stop torturing yourself, Anakin. Isn't that what I deserve? Self-flagellation and guilt?" Perhaps, but it's not productive. The past cannot be changed, only the future. Then let me help shape that future. Let me fight the Empire. Let me do something useful. You're not ready physically or mentally. When will I be ready? When you stop seeking redemption and start seeking to prevent others from falling as you did. The words hit Anakin like a physical blow. He realizes Obi-Wan is right. He's been so focused on his own guilt, his own need for forgiveness, that he's lost sight of what actually matters. Preventing this from happening to anyone else. Understanding how Palpatine corrupted him so others can recognize the signs. Breaking the cycle of manipulation and darkness. He begins to change his approach. Instead of wallowing in guilt, he studies. He meditates on how Palpatine manipulated him over the years. The lies, the half-truths, the way the Sith Lord exploited his fears about losing his mother first, and then Padme. How Palpatine positioned himself as the only one who truly understood Anakin. How he systematically isolated Anakin from the Jedi Order. How he made Anakin feel like the Jedi were holding him back, limiting his potential. Every tactic is dissected and documented. Anakin writes it all down, creating a comprehensive document on Palpatine's methods, the psychological manipulation techniques, the use of attachment as a weapon, the gradual normalization of increasingly dark actions. The document runs hundreds of pages. It's brutal, honest, unflinching. He holds nothing back, not even the parts that make him look weak or foolish. This will be used to train future Jedi, if any survive, to teach them how to recognize and resist such manipulation, to ensure no one else falls the way he did. He also begins reaching out through the Force, searching for survivors. There are Jedi scattered across the galaxy in hiding, terrified, hunted. He sends anonymous warnings through the Force, vague impressions that guide them away from Imperial patrols. He can't reveal himself; they would sense his darkness and flee or attack, but he can protect them from the shadows. One day, Obi-Wan brings him urgent news. We've detected an Imperial operation on Rada. They're hunting a group of younglings who survived Order 66. 6 children hiding in an abandoned moisture farm. The Empire is sending a full battalion to eliminate them. We have to save them. Bail agrees to provide a small strike team, but the operation is risky. It could expose their base on Alderaan if things go wrong. The Empire is watching for any signs of organized resistance. One mistake could bring the full weight of Imperial forces down on them. Anakin volunteers immediately. "Let me go. I'll bring them back." "Absolutely not. You're barely recovered and the children will panic if they see you." "Why not?" "Because you're the monster from their nightmares, Anakin. You're the one who slaughtered their friends. Then I'll wear a mask, hide my identity. But I have to do this, Obi-Wan. I have to save them. Because you failed to save the others at the temple." "Yes. Because I cut them down when they trusted me. Because their blood is on my hands and always will be. This is the least I can do." Obi-Wan considers this carefully. The mission is dangerous. Anakin is still recovering. His combat effectiveness is perhaps 60% of his peak, but his tactical knowledge is invaluable. And perhaps more importantly, he needs this. He needs to save someone. Finally, Obi-Wan nods slowly. "Fine. But I'm coming with you. And if you step out of line even once, if I sense you giving into darkness, I'll end this myself without hesitation." "Understood." They take a small ship to Rada. The planet is a backwater agricultural world, barely touched by the war. Rolling fields of grain under a pale blue sky. The younglings are hiding in an abandoned moisture farm on the planet's northern continent. When Anakin and Obi-Wan arrive, the Empire is already there in force. Stormtroopers are searching the area, methodically closing in on the younglings' location. AT-ST walkers stomp across the fields, crushing the crops. TIE fighters scream overhead, providing air support. Anakin wears a dark cloak and mask, concealing his scarred face and identity. He ignites his lightsaber and immediately 6 young faces turn toward him. Terror fills their eyes. A red blade, like the Sith, like Vader. "It's all right. We're here to help. Get them to the ship. I'll hold off the Empire." Obi-Wan ushers the younglings toward their hidden extraction point, while Anakin moves to intercept the stormtroopers. They open fire immediately. Dozens of blaster bolts fill the air, but Anakin deflects them with practiced ease. He's not trying to kill, just disable, disarm, buy time for the younglings to escape. Stormtroopers fall back, regrouping, as an AT-ST walker stomps around the corner, its cannons charging. Anakin reaches into the Force and lifts the walker. It's heavy, far heavier than anything he's lifted since his injuries. His body screams in protest, the cybernetics strain under the load, but he channels everything he has, every ounce of strength. The walker rises off the ground, its legs flailing uselessly. He hurls it into the stormtrooper formation. The impact scatters them. Armor and bodies fly through the air. Then he runs back toward the extraction point, where Obi-Wan is loading the last youngling onto their ship. "Go now. I'm right behind you." The ship lifts off just as TIE fighters scream overhead. Anakin leaps onto the boarding ramp as it closes. They escape into hyperspace, leaving Rada behind. The mission is a success, but it was too close. On the ship, the younglings huddle together, terrified and confused. One of them, a young Togruta girl, maybe 10 years old, with developing montrals, asks the question they're all thinking. "Who are you? Why did you help us?" "A friend," Someone who made terrible mistakes and is trying to fix them. Why do you have a red lightsaber? Are you a Sith? No. I'm something else. Something caught between light and dark, trying to find balance. The younglings don't fully understand, but they sense he's telling the truth. There's darkness in him, yes, but also genuine remorse, a desperate need to protect them. They're still afraid, but less so. When they return to Alderaan, the younglings are given shelter. Obi-Wan begins making arrangements to find them safe homes, far from the Empire's reach. Foster families who will raise them in secret. But before they leave, the Togruta girl approaches Anakin one final time. She's brave, this one. Thank you for saving us. You're welcome. You were very brave. Can I ask you something? Of course. Ask me anything. The man who attacked the temple. The one who killed the other younglings. Do you know who he was? Anakin's throat tightens. Why do you ask that? Because I want to make sure I never become like him. I'm afraid sometimes. Afraid I'll turn bad. I want to be better than him. You will be. I know you will. You already are. How can you be sure? Because you're already asking the right questions. Because you care about being good. That makes all the difference. The girl nods and runs off to join the others. Padme has been watching from the doorway. That was kind of you. It was the truth. She deserves to know she has a choice. We all do, even after everything. Months pass and become years. The rebellion grows slowly. More senators join the cause. More systems pledge quiet support. The Rebel Alliance begins to take shape. Anakin continues providing intelligence and tactical advice, but always from the shadows. He knows his presence would fracture the movement. Some would see him as an asset, others as a war criminal who should be executed. The debate alone could tear the fragile alliance apart before it even properly forms. So he stays hidden, working behind the scenes, providing the intelligence that saves lives. But he also begins training, not just his body but his mind and spirit. He meditates for hours each day, seeking balance between light and dark. The Jedi taught him to suppress his emotions, to deny his attachments. Palpatine taught him to embrace his anger and hatred. Both approaches were wrong. He needs to acknowledge his feelings without letting them control him, accept his capacity for darkness while choosing light. It's a difficult path. Some days he succeeds. Others he fails, spectacularly. But he keeps trying. Padme watches his progress from a distance. She still keeps her distance emotionally and physically. They sleep in separate quarters. They rarely speak beyond what's necessary for coordinating childcare. But she sees him changing, sees him genuinely trying to be better. The change is slow, incremental. Some days she can barely look at him without seeing his hands around her throat, without feeling the terror of Mustafar. Other days, she sees flashes of the man she married, the man who wanted to free the slaves, who believed in justice. Those days are harder in their own way, because they remind her of what was lost. She starts keeping a journal, writing down her thoughts, her feelings, the conflicting emotions that tear her apart. On one page, she writes, "I hate him for what he did." On the next, she writes, "But I see him trying. Is that enough? Can effort ever balance the scales?" She doesn't know. The journal becomes her confidant, the only place she can be completely honest. Bail finds her one afternoon in the compound library. She's staring at a datapad but not reading. "Are you all right?" "I don't know. I never know anymore. He's trying. I can see that. But every time I look at him, I remember Mustafar. I remember the fear, the pain, the betrayal." Bail sits beside her. "No one expects you to forgive him, Padme. No one has the right to demand that from you. But But he's the father of your children, and he's genuinely trying to change. Those things can both be true. Her eyes fill with tears. I loved him so much, Bale, so completely, and he destroyed that, turned it into something ugly and violent. How do I move past that? I don't know if you can, or if you should. Maybe the answer isn't moving past it. Maybe it's learning to live with it, learning to acknowledge the past while still moving forward. That night, she finds Anakin in the meditation chamber. Luke and Leia are asleep in the nursery. The compound is quiet. She watches him for a moment before speaking. He's sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, perfectly still. She can feel the force swirling around him, not dark, not light, something in between, something balanced. Can we talk? His eyes open. Of course, always. She sits across from him on the meditation mat, her hands folded in her lap. I've been thinking about us, about what we were and what we are now, and what conclusions have you reached? And I don't know if I can ever forgive you, Anakin. Not fully, not in the way you want, not in the way you probably deserve after all this effort. I understand completely, but I think I can learn to trust you again, in small steps, over time. If you prove yourself consistently, if you show me every single day that you're committed to being better, that's more than I deserve, Padme. Yes, it is. But our children deserve parents who can at least be in the same room without it being unbearable. Who can work together? Who can show them what healthy relationships look like, even if ours is broken? So I'm willing to try. Not as husband and wife, not yet. Maybe never. But as partners, as friends, as co-parents who want what's best for Luke and Leia. I'll take whatever you're willing to give. I have no right to ask for more. I know that. She reaches across the space between them. Her hand hovers over his for a moment before making contact. His cybernetic hand is cold, metallic, inhuman, but she doesn't pull away. This doesn't mean I forgive you. I know. This doesn't mean we're okay. I know that too. But it's a start. Yes, it's a start. They sit like that for a long time, hands touching. Not quite together, but not quite apart. It's imperfect, complicated, painful, but it's honest. And maybe that's the best they can hope for. Later that night, Padme writes in her journal, "Today I touched his hand. It felt wrong and right at the same time. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. I don't know if there is a right thing. But I'm trying. For Luke and Leia. For the future. Maybe even for myself. Maybe even for the man he used to be. The man I still glimpse sometimes in unguarded moments. The weeks turn into months. The months turn into years. Slowly, painfully. They rebuild something that resembles a relationship. It's not romantic. The passion is gone, buried under too much trauma. But it's real. They have dinner together with the twins. Not every night, but regularly. They talk about their days. Luke's latest questions about the Force. Leia's stubborn refusal to eat vegetables. The latest rebellion intelligence. The state of the galaxy. They find safe topics. Neutral ground where they can meet without reopening old wounds. One night after the twins are asleep, they find themselves alone in the common room. The fire crackles. Outside, the wind howls through the mountains. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if things had been different? All the time. If I hadn't fallen, if I hadn't listened to Palpatine, if I'd trusted the Jedi, trusted you, we could have had a life together, a real life. We could have raised Luke and Leia in peace. I think about that every single day. Me too. Sometimes I dream about it. We're on Naboo. The war is over. The twins are playing in the gardens. You're laughing. We're happy. Then I wake up. And remember, that version of us is dead. He killed it on Mustafar. I know, and I would give anything to go back, to make different choices, but I can't. All I can do is try to build something new from the ashes. Is it enough? I don't know. Maybe not, but it's all we have. She moves closer to him on the couch, not touching, but closer than before. I don't hate you anymore. I did. For years I hated you with everything I had, but I don't anymore. What changed? I saw you with the younglings from Ra'ada, the way you protected them, the gentleness despite everything. And I realized you're not the same person who hurt me. You're not Vader. You're not even the Anakin I married. You're someone new, someone I'm just starting to know. Is that good or bad? I don't know yet. Ask me in another 10 years. They sit in comfortable silence. The fire burns low. Outside, the stars shine cold and distant. It's not perfect. It's not what either of them wanted. But it's something. A fragile peace built on honesty and effort, on the ruins of what was and the hope of what might be. They begin to rebuild their relationship slowly and carefully. They have dinner together with the twins. They talk about their days, their hopes, their fears. They discuss Luke's precocious questions about the Force, Leia's stubborn independence. They find common ground in their love for their children, in their shared desire to stop Palpatine, in their belief that the galaxy can be better if people are willing to fight for it. It's not romantic love. Not anymore. Those feelings are buried under too much trauma and betrayal. But it's something. Companionship, partnership, mutual respect. And for now, that's enough. It has to be. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Empire consolidates its power through fear and brutality. Without Vader as his enforcer, Palpatine relies more heavily on overwhelming military force and terror tactics. The Inquisitors hunt Jedi with ruthless efficiency. They've killed dozens already. Entire planets are subjugated through orbital bombardment and occupation. Dissidents disappear into black sites. Species deemed undesirable are enslaved. The Senate becomes a rubber stamp. Democracy is dead and tyranny reigns. The Death Star project accelerates dramatically. Palpatine wants a weapon that can destroy any resistance with a single shot. A space station capable of annihilating entire planets. If it's completed, no system will dare oppose him. Fear will keep them in line. The rebellion learns of this superweapon through Anakin's intelligence network. He still has contacts within the Imperial military, officers who served under him during the Clone Wars. Some have been horrified by the Empire's brutality. They feed him information at great personal risk. A massive battle station capable of destroying planets. If it's completed, the Empire will be unstoppable. We have to stop it somehow. Bail agrees, but the problem is immense. The project is based on Geonosis. The entire planet is an Imperial fortress, heavily fortified with multiple Star Destroyer patrols. We'd need an entire fleet to even attempt an assault, and we don't have one. We barely have a dozen capital ships. Then we find another way. Sabotage, infiltration, assassination of key personnel. Anything to slow or stop the project. Anakin, you can't seriously be suggesting what I think you're suggesting. Why not? I know Imperial protocols inside and out. I helped design some of their security systems. I can get in where others can't, and get yourself killed in the process. The Empire wants you dead. If they capture you, Palpatine will make an example of you. If stopping that weapon costs my life, then it's a price worth paying. Obi-Wan puts a hand on his shoulder. We'll find another way. We always do. But we need to be smart about this. But before they can formulate a concrete plan, disaster strikes the rebellion. The Empire discovers one of their supply caches on Lothal, through an informant. A small cell of rebels is captured during a routine supply run. The Imperials use enhanced interrogation, torture, mind probes. The rebels try to resist, but everyone has a breaking point. Under extreme duress, they reveal the locations of other cells, safe houses, supply routes, contact protocols. The Empire begins systematically dismantling the rebellion's network, piece by piece. Bail receives the catastrophic news with mounting horror. We're losing everything we've built over the past 2 years. Dozens of cells compromised, hundreds of operatives in danger. We need to evacuate compromised bases immediately and warn everyone who might be exposed. What about the prisoners on Lothal? The ones who were captured and tortured? We don't have the resources to mount a rescue operation. The facility is too heavily guarded. Then I'll go. I'll get them out. Anakin, you can't. It's a maximum security detention center. The security is impenetrable. Nothing is impenetrable. Those people are suffering because of the Empire I helped create. I have to try. I owe them that much. Obi-Wan steps forward, his expression conflicted. Then we go together. I'm not letting you walk into an Imperial facility alone. You'll need backup. They assemble a small team. Anakin, Obi-Wan, 4 rebel commandos trained in infiltration and extraction. The plan is theoretically simple, but practically nearly impossible. Infiltrate the Imperial detention facility on Lothal, free the prisoners, escape before reinforcements arrive. On paper, it looks achievable. In reality, the odds of success are less than 20%. The odds of survival even lower. They land their shuttle under cover of darkness in Lothal's wilderness. The detention facility looms in the distance, a fortress of durasteel and concrete, guard towers every 50 meters, automated turrets covering every approach, regular patrols of stormtroopers with trained combat droids, sensor arrays that can detect movement within a kilometer. It's designed to be escape-proof, but nothing is perfect. Anakin wears his mask and cloak, concealing his identity. He guides them through blind spots in the sensor net. Past guard rotations he memorized from stolen Imperial duty rosters. Through maintenance tunnels that aren't on the official schematics, but that he knows exist because he helped design similar facilities during the Clone Wars. They reach the detention level after an hour of careful infiltration. The prisoners are kept in deplorable conditions. Tiny cells with no windows, barely enough room to stand. The prisoners are beaten, starved, sleep-deprived. Psychological torture combined with physical abuse. Some have been here for weeks, others for months. All of them look broken, defeated, barely alive. Anakin feels rage building inside him. The dark side calls to him, whispering promises of vengeance. He could kill every stormtrooper in this facility, make them pay for what they've done to these people, make them suffer. But he takes a deep breath and centers himself. Violence isn't the answer here. Not this time. Save the prisoners. Get them out. That's the mission. That's what matters. They free the prisoners from their cells one by one. 17 souls in total. Men and women, young and old. All of them rebel sympathizers. People who dared to speak against the Empire. Who distributed anti-imperial propaganda. Who helped fugitives escape. Their crimes are political. Their suffering is immense. Obi-Wan and the commandos begin guiding them toward the exit route. But an alarm suddenly sounds. Shrieking klaxons echo through the corridors. They've been detected somehow. A guard they missed. A sensor they didn't know about. The cause doesn't matter. Stormtroopers pour into the detention level from every direction. Blaster fire erupts. The commandos return fire while Obi-Wan shields the freed prisoners with his lightsaber. Get them to the hangar now. I'll hold the Imperials here. Anakin, you can't hold them alone. There are too many. I don't need to hold them. Just slow them down. Go. He runs back into the facility, drawing the stormtroopers away from the evacuation route. His lightsaber flashes in the darkness, red light illuminating white armor. Stormtroopers fall, but he's careful not to kill them, disabling shots to weapons and armor. Precise force pushes that knock them unconscious without breaking bones, just enough to stop them without taking lives. He won't add to his body count, not anymore. Every life he takes is another weight on his soul, another crime to answer for. He's done killing. The stormtroopers keep coming, more and more of them. He's forced to give ground, slowly fighting his way back toward the hangar. His cybernetics are straining. Warning indicators flash in his vision. His body is at its limits, but he keeps fighting. The prisoners need time to escape. That's all that matters. The Grand Inquisitor appears at the end of the corridor. "We meet again, traitor. I was hoping you'd show yourself eventually. You should have stayed in hiding, Skywalker. Now you'll die here. I'm done hiding from my past, from what I did, from what I am. Then you'll die facing it." How poetic. They clash in the narrow corridor. The Grand Inquisitor's spinning lightsaber technique is deadly in close quarters. The blade creates a barrier that's nearly impossible to penetrate. But Anakin has faced this technique before. He knows its weaknesses. The spinning creates momentum that's hard to change quickly. He waits for an opening, feints high, strikes low. His blade cuts through the Inquisitor's weapon, destroying the spinning mechanism. A force push sends the Inquisitor crashing into the wall, hard enough to crack the dura steel. Anakin could kill him, should kill him. One strike and a dangerous enemy is eliminated, but he doesn't. He runs toward the hangar, leaving the stunned Inquisitor behind. The ship is waiting with engines hot. Obi-Wan stands at the ramp, reaching out his hand. "Come on, hurry." Anakin leaps aboard just as TIE fighters scream overhead. Blaster fire peppers the hull. They jump to hyperspace, barely escaping. On the ship, the rescued prisoners are crying. Some from relief, others from lingering trauma. They thank their rescuers, repeatedly calling them heroes. Anakin removes his mask. One of the prisoners, an older human man with gray hair and scars, recognizes him immediately. His eyes widen in shock. "You're Anakin Skywalker, the hero with no fear from the Clone Wars. I used to be. Now I'm just a man trying to make amends for terrible mistakes. Why would you risk your life for us? You don't even know us. Because people like you are suffering because of the empire I helped create. Because I need to do something good. To save someone instead of destroying them." The man nods slowly, his expression complex. "Thank you. Whatever you were before you saved us today, that has to count for something." The successful rescue operation boosts rebellion morale significantly. Bail uses it as proof that they can strike back against the Empire effectively, that the Empire isn't invincible. More systems join the cause. More resources flow into the movement. But the mission also draws Palpatine's personal attention. He senses Anakin's presence through the Force during the battle. His former apprentice is interfering with Imperial operations, protecting rebels, fighting against everything Palpatine built. This cannot stand. The missions continue. Month after month, year after year. Anakin becomes the rebellion's most valuable asset, each operation more daring than the last. On Ryloth, he infiltrates an Imperial weapons depot. The security is intense. 3 layers of checkpoints, biometric scanners, motion sensors. But Anakin knows Imperial procedures inside and out. He poses as an officer, uses the Force to cloud minds, walks through the facility like he belongs there. He plants charges on the main reactor, subtle, delayed. By the time they detonate, he's long gone. The explosion destroys enough weapons to supply 3 Imperial battalions, a significant blow. On Ord Mantell, he rescues a rebel spy from an ISB black site. The spy has information about a new Imperial superweapon. Information that could save millions. But she's been captured, tortured, scheduled for execution. Anakin goes in alone, uses the maintenance tunnels, avoids patrols, finds her cell. She's barely alive, broken, bleeding, but conscious. "Who are you?" "A friend." "Can you walk?" "I think so." "Good. Stay close." They fight their way out. Anakin's lightsaber deflects blaster bolts while the spy limps beside him. They reach the hangar, steal a shuttle, escape into hyperspace. The spy survives. Provides the intelligence. The rebellion learns about the Imperial project codenamed Tarkin, a mobile battle station, planet killer. The intelligence helps them prepare countermeasures years before it becomes a threat. On Bespin, he sabotages a Tibana gas mining operation. The Empire uses Tibana gas for their turbolasers, ship weapons, station defenses. Cutting off the supply will cripple their fleet. But the facility is heavily guarded. Cloud City security, Imperial garrison, dozens of stormtroopers. Anakin doesn't go in loud. He's subtle, careful, poses as a maintenance worker, spends weeks learning routines, guard rotations, security protocols. Then one night he makes his move, sabotages the main refinery. The damage looks like an accident, equipment failure. By the time they realize it's sabotage, production has halted for months. The Empire's weapons manufacturing slows. Rebels gain an advantage in several key battles. On Mandalore, he brokers a deal between Duchess Satina's government and the rebellion. Satine is hesitant. She's a pacifist, doesn't want Mandalore involved in the war. But Anakin is persuasive. He speaks to her about the cost of neutrality, about what happens when good people do nothing, about the responsibility of power. You have resources, ships, weapons, medical supplies. The rebellion needs them. People are dying because the Empire has more. Not more courage, not more rightness, just more stuff. You can change that without firing a shot, without compromising your principles. Just help. She listens, considers, eventually agrees to secret supply runs. Nothing public, nothing that draws Imperial attention, but steady support, food, medicine, equipment. It makes a difference, saves lives. On Naboo, he organizes a resistance cell. The planet is under Imperial occupation. The people are suffering, but they're afraid to fight back. Anakin changes that. He meets with local leaders, teachers, workers, farmers, shows them how to resist small acts, sabotage, intelligence gathering, creating networks. It takes months, but eventually, a resistance movement forms. Nothing dramatic, no big battles, just steady, persistent resistance, making the Empire's job harder, more expensive, more difficult. Death by 1,000 cuts. Years pass like this. Mission after mission, planet after planet. Anakin becomes a ghost, a legend. Some call him the Phantom, others call him the Guardian. A few know his real name, but most don't. He's just the mysterious operative who appears when needed, saves people, destroys Imperial assets, then vanishes. The Empire hunts him constantly, puts bounties on his head, sends inquisitors, assassins, bounty hunters. None succeed. Anakin is too skilled, too careful, too driven. He's fighting not for glory, not for recognition, for redemption he knows he'll never achieve. But redemption isn't the point anymore. Saving people is the point. Stopping the Empire, preventing others from suffering as he made others suffer. That's all that matters. On Christophsis, he destroys an Imperial intelligence listening post. The facility monitors rebel communications, tracks ship movements, identifies sympathizers. Taking it offline blinds the Empire in an entire sector. He goes in during a shift change. Minimal guards. Plants EMP charges throughout the facility. Wipes the data cores. The explosion takes out the entire installation. By the time the Empire rebuilds, months have passed. Months of rebel operations conducted in the dark. On Scarif, he infiltrates the Imperial data vault. Not the main citadel, too heavily defended, but a secondary facility, archives, old records, technical specifications. He's looking for something specific. Death Star plans. Early designs. Palpatine started the project years ago. Anakin knows it exists, knows it's being built. Finding the plans could give the rebellion critical intelligence. He spends days searching, dodging patrols, avoiding security systems, finally finds what he's looking for. Holocron, ancient Sith design. Palpatine's personal notes on the superweapon. Anakin steals it, escapes. The information inside is invaluable. Structural weaknesses, power systems, targeting computers, everything the rebellion will need when the time comes. On Camino, he sabotages the old cloning facilities. The Empire has started using them again, creating new soldiers. Not clones exactly, but soldiers grown and trained in accelerated programs. It's horrifying. Anakin remembers the Clone Wars, remembers the troopers, good men, brothers, used and discarded. He won't let the Empire do it again. He destroys the genetic material, burns the growth chambers, sets charges throughout the complex. The facility is lost. Years of research, billions of credits, gone. Each mission takes something from him, physically, mentally, emotionally. His body accumulates damage. His cybernetics require constant maintenance. Some nights he can't sleep. The memories haunt him, the younglings, the Jedi, everyone he's hurt. But he keeps going, keeps fighting, because stopping means facing what he's done, acknowledging the enormity of his crimes. He's not ready for that, may never be ready. So he fights, saves people, destroys Imperial assets, over and over, hoping that maybe, possibly, it will be enough. Knowing it never will be, but trying anyway. Because what else can he do? On Takodana, he helps establish a rebel safe house. Maz Kanata agrees to hide operatives, provide supplies, intelligence. Her castle becomes a way station, a refuge for those fleeing the Empire. Anakin helps set up the security systems, the secret passages, the emergency protocols. Maz watches him work. You're carrying a heavy burden. I've carried heavier. That doesn't make this one lighter. No, it doesn't. But it's mine to carry. She nods, understanding in her ancient eyes. Just don't let it crush you. Some burdens are worth bearing. Others destroy you from the inside. I'm already destroyed. I'm just making sure the pieces do something useful before they crumble completely. The missions blur together. Weeks, months, years. Anakin fighting a war he can never truly win. Because even if the Empire falls, even if Palpatine dies, even if the galaxy is freed, the younglings are still dead, the Jedi still betrayed. Nothing changes that. Nothing ever will. But he fights anyway, because it's all he has, all he can do, and maybe, just maybe, it makes a difference. To someone, somewhere. That has to be enough. He summons his Grand Inquisitor via hologram. The man looks bruised and defeated. Skywalker has become a serious problem. He's providing intelligence to the rebels, leading rescue operations, undermining our authority. I want him found and eliminated permanently. Yes, my lord. But he has proven difficult to track. His force presence is shielded, and he moves constantly. Then use bait. Find something he cares about deeply, and take it. Draw him out into the open. The Grand Inquisitor smiles cruelly. His family on Alderaan. Precisely. And when he comes to save them, you will be waiting with everything you need to end him. Several weeks pass as the Empire plans their operation. They observe Padmé's movements, track her routines, identify her vulnerabilities. They wait for the perfect opportunity. That opportunity comes during a diplomatic summit on Alderaan. Bail is hosting representatives from several systems sympathetic to the rebellion. Padmé attends as his advisor. Luke and Leia stay back at the compound, under Obi-Wan's protection. The Empire strikes during a reception. Agents disguised as serving staff. They move through the crowd with practiced ease. Padmé is speaking with a senator from Chandrila when she feels the prick of an injection needle. Her vision swims. The room tilts. She tries to call out, but her voice won't work. Strong hands catch her as she falls. The agents extract her through a service entrance. By the time Bail's security realizes something is wrong, she's gone. Bail immediately contacts Anakin. His face is pale with fear and fury. They took her. Who? When? How? Imperial agents during the reception. They were disguised as staff, professional, coordinated. She never had a chance. Did they leave a message? A hologram of the Grand Inquisitor. He wants you to come to Coruscant, to the Senate building, alone. Or they'll kill her. It's obviously a trap. Of course it's a trap. But I have to go. She's the mother of my children. We can plan a proper rescue with full support. Multiple teams. Overwhelming force. There is no time for that. They'll kill her if I don't show immediately. They're counting on me being reckless. Let me be reckless. Anakin, this is exactly what Palpatine wants. He's trying to draw you out, expose you, kill you. Let him try. I've faced worse. I'm going with or without your blessing. Then you have my blessing. But you're not going alone. We've come too far to lose each other now. Luke and Leia rush into the room. Their Force senses are sharp enough now to feel their parents' distress. What's happening? Where's Mother? Your mother has been taken by the Empire. We're going to get her back. We're coming with you. Absolutely not. You're staying here where it's safe. We can help. We've been training. We're strong in the Force. Your children. This is a trap designed to kill me. I won't risk your lives too, but she's our mother, and I will bring her back to you. I promise. Obi-Wan puts his hands on their shoulders. Your father is right. You need to stay here. Trust him. Trust us. The twins reluctantly agree, though their faces show clear frustration. Anakin kneels before them. I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But I need you to be brave. Take care of each other. Listen to Obi-Wan, and know that I love you both more than anything in this galaxy. We love you too, Father. Please bring her home. I will, no matter what it costs. The journey to Coruscant feels longer than it should. Anakin and Obi-Wan prepare in silence. They check their weapons, meditate, try to center themselves for what's coming. The planet looms ahead. Coruscant, the seat of Imperial power, the place where democracy died, where the Jedi were slaughtered, where Palpatine sits on his throne of lies. Imperial banners hang from every building. Stormtroopers patrol the streets in overwhelming numbers. The Senate building itself has been converted into a fortress. Guard towers on every level. Automated defenses covering every approach. It's a symbol of everything the Empire represents. Death to freedom. Death to hope. Death to anyone who dares resist. They infiltrate through old maintenance tunnels that Anakin remembers from his Jedi days. The routes are still there, though security has increased dramatically. They move like ghosts, silent, invisible. Every step is calculated. They disable sensors, avoid patrols, use the Force to cloud the minds of guards who get too close. It takes hours, But eventually they reach the Senate chamber, the room where Palpatine declared himself emperor, where democracy breathed its last. The doors are massive, ornate, inscribed with imperial symbols. Anakin can sense Padme inside, alive, terrified, surrounded by enemies. They push the doors open and step inside. The chamber is exactly as Anakin remembers. Curved rows of seats rising toward the ceiling. A central platform where speakers once addressed the Republic. Now it holds only a single chair. Padme is bound to it. Her hands restrained behind her back. Her mouth gagged, but her eyes are fierce, defiant. She hasn't broken, not yet. The Grand Inquisitor stands beside her, his lightsaber ready. A dozen Imperial guards line the walls, their weapons trained on the entrance. "Welcome, Lord Vader. I knew you would come for her. I knew you couldn't resist. Let her go. This is between you and me." "Oh, but it's so much more than that. The Emperor wants you to suffer, to understand the true price of betrayal. And what better way than through those you love? First, we'll kill her. Then we'll kill your children. Then everyone you've ever cared about. Until you're completely alone, screaming in the dark." The Grand Inquisitor ignites his lightsaber and holds it near Padme's throat. She doesn't flinch, doesn't look away from Anakin. Her eyes tell him everything. She trusts him, believes in him, knows he'll find a way. Anakin's hand moves to his lightsaber, but Obi-Wan stops him with a gentle touch. "Wait, not yet. We need an opening." The Grand Inquisitor smiles. "Your master is wise, but wisdom won't save you here. Nothing will. The Emperor has foreseen your death. This is where your story ends. Then let it end, but not before I save her." Anakin explodes into motion. He force pulls Padme's chair toward him, while simultaneously pushing the Grand Inquisitor back. Obi-Wan ignites his lightsaber and deflects a barrage of blaster fire from the Imperial guards. The chamber erupts into chaos. Anakin cuts through Padme's restraints with a precise strike. "Are you hurt?" "No. Just angry. Good. Stay behind me." The Grand Inquisitor recovers and attacks with renewed fury. His spinning blade technique fills the air with red light. But Anakin is ready. He's fought this style before, knows its weaknesses. He waits for the pattern to emerge, then strikes at the precise moment of vulnerability. His blade catches the Inquisitor's weapon mid-spin and tears it from his hands. A force push sends the man crashing into the wall. Obi-Wan is surrounded by Imperial guards, 6 of them attacking in coordinated strikes. Their vibro-staffs spark against his lightsaber. He defends with perfect economy of motion. Each block sets up a counterattack. Each counterattack eliminates one guard. But more keep coming, reinforcements flooding in from every entrance. We need to leave. Now. Anakin grabs Padme's hand, and they run toward the nearest exit. Obi-Wan covers their retreat, deflecting a storm of blaster fire. They burst through the doors into a corridor. Stormtroopers ahead, stormtroopers behind. They're trapped. Anakin makes a split-second decision. The main hangar is compromised, but there are emergency escape pods throughout the building. He leads them through a maze of corridors. Left, right, up a staircase, through a maintenance bay. The stormtroopers pursue, but they're always one step behind. Anakin knows this building intimately. He spent years here during the Clone Wars. Every shortcut, every hidden passage. They reach an emergency pod bay. Anakin forces the door open. There are 3 pods remaining. "Get in, both of you." "What about you?" "I'll take the 3rd pod. We'll rendezvous at the fallback coordinates." "Anakin, no. We're not leaving you. You have to. If we all escape together, they'll track us. But if I lead them away, you'll have time to get clear. Please. Trust me." Obi-Wan wants to argue, but there's no time. He pulls Padme into a pod. The door seals. Through the viewport, Padme watches Anakin launch his own pod in the opposite direction, drawing the pursuit, sacrificing himself to save them. The pod screams through Coruscant's atmosphere. Padme's hands grip the armrests. Is he going to make it? He always does. That's not an answer. It's the only answer I have. The pod enters hyperspace. They're safe. But Anakin is still out there, still being hunted. Padme closes her eyes and reaches out through the Force. She's not trained, but her connection to Anakin is deep, primal. She can feel him, distant but alive, fighting, always fighting. Back on Coruscant, Anakin's pod is under heavy fire. TIE fighters swarm around him. Blaster cannons tear through his shields. Alarms blare. Systems fail. He pushes the pod to its absolute limits, banking hard through the cityscape, under bridges, between buildings. The TIE fighters pursue relentlessly. He can't shake them, can't outrun them. So he does the only thing he can. He ejects. The pod explodes behind him. The TIE fighters assume he's dead. They break off pursuit. Anakin falls through the sky, uses the Force to slow his descent, lands hard on a rooftop in the industrial district. His cybernetics absorb most of the impact, but pain still shoots through his body. He lies there for a moment, breathing hard, alive. He makes his way through the Undercity, the levels where even stormtroopers fear to patrol. It takes days, but he eventually finds a smuggler willing to transport him off-world. The price is steep. He pays it without complaint. The ship is a rust bucket, but it's fast. They escape Coruscant and make the jump to hyperspace. Anakin collapses in the cargo hold, exhaustion overwhelming him. When he wakes, they're approaching Alderaan. The reunion is emotional. Padme throws herself into his arms. The twins cling to him. Even Obi-Wan shows rare displays of affection. They made it. Against impossible odds, they survived. But the close call has consequences. The rebellion holds an emergency meeting. The Grand Inquisitor knows their location now. It's only a matter of time before the Empire strikes in force. They need to evacuate, establish a new base, somewhere the Empire will never think to look. After much debate, they choose Yavin 4, a jungle moon orbiting a gas giant, remote, defensible, perfect for their needs. The evacuation takes weeks. They move people and supplies in small groups to avoid detection, slowly, carefully. By the time the Empire finally strikes Alderaan, the compound is empty. The years continue to pass. Luke and Leia grow from children into teenagers, 10 years old, then 13, then 15. The war grinds on. The rebellion grows stronger, but so does the Empire. It's a chess match played across the galaxy, each side making moves, counter-moves, sacrificing pieces to gain advantages. Anakin remains in the shadows. His existence is known to the rebellion's leadership, but not to the rank and file. Some commanders know him as the Phantom, others as the Ghost, a mysterious figure who provides intelligence and leads rescue operations. His real identity is kept secret, for his safety, for the rebellion's stability. But everything changes when the rebellion decides to hold a formal tribunal, to establish legitimate government structures, clear chains of command, accountability to the people they claim to represent. The council convenes on Dantooine, dozens of representatives from systems across the galaxy, rebel commanders, intelligence officers, diplomatic envoys. They debate their mission, their goals, their methods. And inevitably someone asks about the Phantom, about the mysterious operative who saved so many lives. Who is he? Where did he come from? Why does he hide his identity? The questions force Bale's hand. He can no longer protect Anakin's secret. not if they want true transparency. He calls for a closed session. Only the most senior leadership, Mon Mothma, Admiral Akbar, General Dodonna, Commander Sato, Captain Antilles, a handful of others. What I'm about to tell you must never leave this room, not until we've decided how to proceed. The person you know as the Phantom, the operative who's been providing intelligence for years. His real name is Anakin Skywalker. The room erupts. Some leaders jump to their feet. Others sit in stunned silence. Mon Mothma's face goes pale. Her hands grip the armrests of her chair. You can't be serious. You've been working with him, with Vader, with the Butcher of the Jedi Temple. He's not Vader anymore. He turned against Palpatine years ago. He's been helping us fight the Empire ever since. That changes nothing. He slaughtered children, murdered innocents. His crimes are beyond forgiveness. If we work with him, we lose all moral authority. Admiral Akbar speaks up. His voice is measured, tactical. What intelligence has he provided? Locations of Imperial facilities, names of key officers, details on Project Stardust, information that has saved thousands of lives. Thousands. And you've verified this intelligence? Every piece. It's been accurate, invaluable. Then from a strategic perspective, we need him. Whatever his past, he's proving useful now. Mon Mothma shakes her head. You're talking about strategy. I'm talking about morality, about the soul of this movement. If we embrace a child killer, what does that say about us? That we're no better than the Empire? That ends justify means. Where do we draw the line? Commander Sato interjects. With respect, Senator, I fought in the Clone Wars. I served under General Skywalker. He was a hero, a good man. What happened to him? Palpatine happened. He was manipulated, corrupted. That doesn't excuse what he did. No, it doesn't. But people can change. Can they? Really? Mon Mothma's voice rises. Because I find that hard to believe. Once someone crosses that line, once they murder children, how can they ever come back from that? Bail stands. Let me tell you what I've seen. I've watched Anakin Skywalker spend 5 years trying to atone. I've seen him risk his life repeatedly to save people he doesn't even know. I've seen him provide intelligence that's prevented massacres. I've seen him train his children to be better than he was. I've seen genuine remorse, genuine effort to change. That doesn't erase his crimes. Nothing can. But it matters. It has to matter. You've let your personal relationship with him cloud your judgment. Perhaps. Or perhaps you've let your righteous anger blind you to practical reality. We're fighting a war against an empire that kills millions. We need every advantage, every asset, every piece of intelligence. Skywalker provides all of that. Can we afford to reject him? Yes, Mon Mothma says firmly. We can and we must. If we compromise our principles to win, then what have we won? An empire by another name. Tyranny with a prettier face. No. We draw the line here. We fight with honor, or we don't fight at all. General Dodonna speaks. His voice carries the weight of decades of military experience. I respect your position, Senator. But let me offer another perspective. War is not clean. It's not simple. It's not black and white. We've all done things we're not proud of, made compromises, worked with questionable people. That's the reality of resistance. The Empire doesn't care about our moral purity. They care about crushing us. And they'll succeed if we handicap ourselves with rigid ideology. This isn't ideology. It's basic human decency, the fundamental principle that some acts are unforgivable, that some lines can't be uncrossed. If we abandon that, we abandon everything. But what about redemption? Captain Antilles asks quietly. What about the possibility that people can change, grow, become better? Isn't that what we're fighting for? A galaxy where people have second chances, where the mistakes of the past don't define the future forever. That's different. There are mistakes, and then there are atrocities. Skywalker committed atrocities, plural, multiple war crimes, the murder of children. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. And choices have consequences. Bail tries again. Let me propose something. We put it to a vote. Simple majority. Skywalker continues providing intelligence under strict conditions. He never commands troops, never represents us publicly, never takes any action that could compromise our moral authority. He remains in the shadows, anonymous. If he violates any of these conditions, he's arrested immediately and put on trial. We get the strategic advantage without the public relations nightmare. That's not good enough, Mon Mothma says, because eventually it will come out. Eventually someone will learn the truth, and when they do, the entire rebellion will be tainted. People will say, we were no better than the Empire, that we used a child killer to achieve our goals. How do we answer that? With the truth, that we made a difficult choice in difficult circumstances, that we prioritized saving lives over maintaining appearance, that we believed in redemption even for the worst among us. That sounds like a rationalization. Perhaps it is, but it's also strategic reality. The debate continues for hours, voices raised, fists pounded. Some threaten to leave the alliance. Others argue passionately for inclusion. The rebellion teeters on the edge. Finally, someone suggests hearing from Anakin directly. Let him testify. Let him explain himself. Let us judge based on his words, not Bael's advocacy. Mon Mothma agrees reluctantly. Bring him in, but I reserve the right to call for his immediate arrest if I deem him a threat. Anakin is brought to the chamber. He wears simple clothes, no armor, no weapons. His face shows every scar, every mark of what he's been through. He stands before the council, alone, vulnerable. Mon Mothma speaks first, her voice cold. Anakin Skywalker, you stand accused of war crimes, of mass murder, of the slaughter of innocents, including children. What do you have to say for yourself? I'm guilty of all of that and more. I have no defense, no excuse, no justification. What I did was evil, monstrous, unforgivable. I killed younglings who trusted me. I betrayed the Jedi Order. I helped Palpatine destroy the Republic. Those crimes hang around my neck like stones. They will until the day I die. Then why should we work with you? Why should we trust you? You shouldn't trust me. I haven't earned that. But you should use the intelligence I provide because it saves lives. You should let me help because I know the Empire's weaknesses. You should give me the chance to prevent others from falling as I did. Not for my sake. I deserve nothing. But for the galaxy's sake. Because billions of people are suffering under Imperial tyranny, and I have information that can help stop it. That's pragmatic. But it's not moral. No, it's not. Morality would demand you execute me. Put me on trial. Make an example of me. And if that's what you decide, I'll accept it. I won't resist, won't fight, won't run. But before you do, let me finish helping. Let me give you everything I know. Every Imperial secret, every weakness, every vulnerability. Then do with me what you will. Mon Mothma studies him. You speak of redemption. Do you believe you can be redeemed? No. Some crimes are too great. Some debts can never be repaid. I killed children. There's no coming back from that. No scale that balances. The best I can hope for is to prevent others from making my mistakes, to ensure no one else falls to the darkness I embraced. If I can do that, maybe my existence has some small meaning. But redemption, No, that's beyond me. Commander Sato asks the next question. What happened to you? How did you become Vader? Fear. Palpatine found my fear and exploited it. I was terrified of losing the people I loved. My mother died in my arms. I couldn't save her. That fear consumed me. When I had visions of losing Padme, I became desperate, willing to do anything to prevent it. Palpatine offered power, promised I could save her. I believed him, took his deal, pledged myself to the dark side. And in doing so, I became exactly what I feared. I nearly killed Padme myself. I destroyed everything I was trying to protect. The irony isn't lost on me. I became a monster, trying to prevent loss. Ended up causing more loss than I ever imagined. Admiral Akbar speaks. You've been helping the rebellion for years. Why? Because I need to do something good, something that matters. I can't undo what I did, can't bring back the dead. But I can try to save the living, try to stop the empire I helped create. It's not enough. It'll never be enough. But it's all I have, all I can offer. General Dodonna leans forward. If we vote to continue working with you under strict conditions, will you abide by them? Without question. If we vote to arrest you and put you on trial, will you resist? No. I'll surrender peacefully. If we vote to execute you, will you fight? No. I told you. I'll accept whatever you decide. I'm here because Bail convinced me I could help, but I have no illusions about deserving mercy. Do whatever you think is right. The council dismisses Anakin. He's escorted to a holding area while they deliberate. The debate resumes, more heated than before. Mon Mothma is unmoved. You heard him. He admitted everything. He shows no sign of being trustworthy, only useful. Usefulness isn't enough, but Bail argues back. He also showed genuine remorse, genuine acceptance of consequences. That's not nothing. We've all seen people deflect blame, make excuses. He did none of that. He took full responsibility. That speaks to character. Character he didn't have when he murdered younglings. People change. Not always. Not everyone. But sometimes. Maybe. And isn't that possibility worth exploring? The vote is called. Each member states their position. Admiral Akbar votes to continue working with Anakin. Strategic value outweighs moral concerns. General Dodonna agrees. Commander Sato votes yes. Bail, obviously yes. Captain Antilles abstains. Can't decide. Mon Mothma votes no. Absolutely not. Others vote. The room splits almost evenly. In the end, it comes down to one person. A junior delegate from Corellia, a woman who lost family in Order 66. Everyone expects her to vote no. She stands. Her voice shakes. I lost my brother in the Purge. He was a Padawan, 15 years old. Anakin Skywalker probably killed him. I should hate him. I do hate him. But I hate the Empire more. And if using him helps destroy it, then I vote yes. The motion passes, barely, by the smallest margin. Anakin can continue working with the rebellion under strict conditions. Mon Mothma records her strong objection, states for the record that she believes this is a mistake, that history will judge them harshly, but she'll abide by the decision, for now. Anakin is brought back, informed of the vote, told the conditions. He accepts without hesitation. Thank you for the opportunity. I won't let you down. You already have, Mon Mothma says coldly. You let everyone down. The younglings, the Jedi, the Republic. Don't thank us for letting you help. Just help. And pray it's enough to balance even a fraction of what you've done. I will, every day, for the rest of my life. The tribunal ends. Anakin returns to his quarters. That night he writes in his journal, "They voted to let me help, by the narrowest margin. Most of them hate me, fear me, distrust me. They're right to. But they're letting me work because lives are at stake. Because the mission matters more than their feelings about me. I won't waste this chance. Won't fail them. I'll give them everything I have, everything I know. And if they decide later to arrest me, execute me, I'll accept it. This is more than I deserve, more than I hoped for. A chance to do something good, something meaningful, before the end. Luke and Leia are 17 now, nearly adults, strong in the Force, more powerful than Anakin was at their age. Obi-Wan has been training them in the Jedi ways, control, discipline, compassion. But Anakin assists now, always under supervision, always with Obi-Wan's oversight. He teaches them about the dark side, not through lectures but through his own story. The twins listen with complete attention. They're old enough now to understand the full weight of what their father did, the full cost of his fall. One day during training, Leia confronts him directly. "You want us to forgive you?" "No, I don't. Because I don't deserve your forgiveness." "Then what do you want from us?" "I want you to learn from my mistakes. I want you to be better than I was. Stronger, wiser, more disciplined. I want you to never let fear control you the way it controlled me. But you said fear is natural, that we shouldn't suppress our emotions. Fear is natural. But there's a difference between feeling fear and being controlled by it. I was terrified of losing your mother. That fear made me desperate. That desperation made me vulnerable to manipulation. I chose power over principle because I thought power could prevent loss. But power without wisdom is just tyranny. And tyranny destroys everything it touches. Luke asks the question that's been on both their minds. Do you think you can ever truly atone for what you did? No. Some debts can never be repaid. The younglings I killed, the Jedi I betrayed. Nothing I do will ever bring them back. Nothing will ever balance that scale. But I can try to prevent others from falling the way I did. I can try to build a better galaxy for you and your generation. That has to be enough because it's all I have. The twins absorb this. Neither offers easy forgiveness. Neither pretends his crimes don't matter. But they acknowledge his effort, his genuine desire to change. And for now, that's enough. The training continues over months and years. Luke and Leia master lightsaber combat, Force techniques, meditation. But more importantly, they develop wisdom beyond their years. They have Padmé's moral clarity, Anakin's determination, Obi-Wan's restraint. They represent something new, a synthesis of light and dark. Not the rigid dogma of the old Jedi, not the unbridled emotion of the Sith, something balanced, something sustainable, something that might actually work. The rebellion finally receives the intelligence they've been dreading. The Death Star is nearly complete, 3 months until it's operational. Once it goes online, Palpatine will use it to crush dissent. Alderaan, Chandrila, Mon Cala. Any system that harbors rebel sympathies will be destroyed. Billions will die. The rebellion holds an emergency council. All their top leaders attend. The debate is fierce. Some want to flee to the unknown regions. Others want to attempt a direct assault on the Death Star. But both options have fatal flaws. They don't have enough ships for an assault, and fleeing means abandoning billions to the Empire's mercy. Then Anakin speaks up. There's another option. We strike at Palpatine directly. The room falls silent. Every eye turns to him. Mon Mothma shakes her head. That's suicide. The Imperial Palace is the most heavily guarded location in the entire galaxy. I know. I helped design those defenses when I was Vader. But I also know their weaknesses, the blind spots, the maintenance tunnels, the security rotations. More importantly, I know Palpatine. I know how he thinks. He won't expect me to come for him because he thinks I'm broken, weak, defeated. He's wrong. You're suggesting a two-man assassination mission. That's not just suicide, it's fantasy. Then it's a fantasy that might save billions of lives. Without Palpatine, the Empire will fracture. His death would throw the entire command structure into chaos. Moffs fighting for power, Star Destroyers turning on each other, the carefully constructed tyranny collapsing from within. It's our best chance. Maybe our only chance. Bail stands. I hate this plan, but he's right. We don't have a better option. The Death Star will destroy us. Palpatine's death might destroy the Empire. The mathematics are brutal but clear. The Council votes. Many oppose the plan. But desperation wins the day. The operation is approved. Anakin and Obi-Wan will infiltrate Coruscant, assassinate the Emperor, try to survive. Everyone knows the odds. Everyone knows this is likely a one-way mission. But it's the only path forward. Anakin says goodbye to his family. The scene is heart-wrenching. Padme holds him tight, her tears soaking his robes. Come back to us. You have to come back. I'll try my hardest. That's not good enough. Promise me. I promise I'll do everything in my power to survive and return to you. She kisses him. It's passionate, desperate, filled with all the complicated emotions of their relationship. Love and trauma and hope and fear, all mixed together. I never stopped loving you. Even after everything, even when I hated you, I still loved you. I know. I never deserved your love, but I'm grateful for it every single day. Luke and Leia stand waiting. Their faces show the strain of trying to be strong, trying not to cry. Anakin kneels before them. You've both grown into remarkable people. I'm proud of you in ways I can't express. When I look at you, I see hope for the galaxy. Don't go. Please don't go. I have to. This is the only way to keep you safe. To keep everyone safe. But what if you don't come back? Then you'll have Obi-Wan, and your mother, and each other. You'll be fine. You're strong. Both of you. Stronger than I ever was. But we need you. I need you more. I need you to survive, to grow up, to become Jedi, to build a better galaxy than the one I nearly destroyed. Can you do that for me? We promise. Good. Remember everything I taught you. Light and dark in balance. Never let fear control you. Always choose compassion over power. And know that I love you both more than anything in this galaxy. More than my own life. We love you too, Father. Please come home. I'll try. I promise I'll try. Obi-Wan approaches. They embrace like brothers. This is it then. Our last mission together. Hopefully not our last. But if it is, I want you to know that saving you on Mustafar was the right choice. Even with everything that came after. I don't regret it. Thank you, Obi-Wan. For everything. You gave me a chance when I deserved nothing. You believed in me when no one else would. You were the best master I could have asked for. And you were the best student, even when you drove me to distraction. The galaxy needs you, Anakin. Not Vader, not the Chosen One. Just you. Flawed, complicated, human. Don't forget that. I won't. Let's go kill an emperor. Indeed, let's. The journey to Coruscant takes several days. Anakin and Obi-Wan spend the time in meditation, preparing mentally for what's coming. Both know this might be their last mission together. The odds of survival are minimal, but neither speaks of it. Instead, they reminisce. Remember when we faced Dooku on Geonosis? You were so brash, so confident. I nearly got us both killed. Nearly. But we survived. We always survived. Until we didn't. Until I betrayed you. You turned, but then you turned back. That matters more than you realize. I hope you're right. I know I am. You're sitting here preparing to sacrifice yourself to stop Palpatine. The old Anakin would never have done that. Maybe I've changed. Or maybe you've finally become who you were always meant to be. They arrive at Coruscant under cover of darkness. The planet looks the same but feels different. Oppressive, heavy with dark side energy. The Imperial Palace looms above the cityscape, a monument to tyranny built on the ruins of the Jedi Temple. Palpatine's final insult to the Order he destroyed. They infiltrate through maintenance tunnels, old routes from before the Purge. The security is intense but predictable. They avoid patrols, disable sensors, use the Force to cloud minds. It takes hours, but they reach the throne room. The doors are massive, inscribed with Sith runes. Anakin can feel Palpatine inside, his presence like a wound in the Force. Dark, hungry, malevolent. Are you ready for this? No. But that doesn't matter. Good answer. They push the doors open. The throne room is exactly as Anakin remembers. High ceilings, dark stone, no windows, only artificial light casting long shadows. Palpatine sits on his throne, seemingly alone. But Anakin senses the traps, hidden guards, automated defenses. The Emperor himself radiating power like a dark star. Anakin Skywalker, I've been expecting you. I know. And I came anyway. Because you need to be stopped. How delightfully predictable. You think you've changed, that you found redemption helping those pathetic rebels. But I know the truth. The darkness is still inside you. It always will be. You'll always be my greatest creation. Maybe the darkness is still there, but I've learned to control it instead of letting it control me. You've learned nothing. You're still the same pathetic slave boy I found on Tatooine, desperate for power, for approval, for love, for someone to tell you matter, and I'm still the man who will end your reign of terror. Palpatine laughs. The sound echoes through the chamber. Then try young Skywalker. Show me what you've learned. He doesn't attack Anakin. Instead, he unleashes Force lightning at Obi-Wan. The attack is sudden, vicious, overwhelming. Obi-Wan barely raises his lightsaber in time. The electricity courses through his body. He screams. His muscles seize. Anakin rushes forward, but Palpatine gestures. The floor beneath Anakin explodes. He falls through into a chamber below, separated from Obi-Wan, exactly as Palpatine planned. The lower chamber is a killing zone. Automated defenses activate, turrets, probe droids, blast doors sealing exits. It's designed to eliminate intruders through overwhelming firepower. But Anakin designed this system. He knows its weaknesses, uses the Force to redirect turrets, turns defenses against themselves. Explosions rock the chamber. Above, he hears Obi-Wan fighting, the clash of lightsabers, the crackle of lightning. His master needs help. Anakin focuses on the ceiling, reaches into the Force deeper than ever before, channels light and dark together, accepts all of himself, the good and evil, the compassion and rage. He finds perfect balance. Pure power flows through him. The ceiling tears open. Durasteel rips like paper. He leaps through into the throne room. Obi-Wan is on his knees, lightsaber meters away. Palpatine stands over him, lightning dancing across his fingertips, face twisted in sadistic pleasure. This is how it ends, Kenobi. You die knowing you failed. Not today. Never again. Anakin tackles Palpatine. They roll across the floor. Lightning scorches his armor, burns through to flesh. But Anakin doesn't stop. He pins the Emperor down, hands close around Palpatine's throat. He could kill him here, strangle the life from him, watch the light fade from those horrible yellow eyes. But a voice stops him. Obi-Wan's voice. Weak, but clear. Don't do it, Anakin. Don't give in to hatred, not after coming so far. He's right. Killing in rage would be giving into the dark side, becoming Vader again. Anakin releases Palpatine and steps back. I won't kill you in anger, but I will stop you from hurting anyone ever again. Palpatine rises, face twisted with absolute fury. Fool, you had your chance. Now you'll watch everyone you love die screaming. He unleashes a storm of Force lightning, not at any specific target, but at everything. The walls, the floor, Obi-Wan, Anakin. The throne room becomes a nightmare of electricity and destruction. Anakin stands in the center, reaches into the Force with complete focus. Light and dark, compassion and strength, every mistake, every triumph, every moment of weakness and courage. He finds perfect balance. His hands rise, the lightning bends, redirected, absorbed, turned back on its source. Palpatine's eyes widen, genuine shock and fear. The Emperor realizes too late what Anakin has achieved. True balance, something even ancient Jedi never accomplished. The lightning turns completely. Palpatine's own power consumes him. The Emperor screams as dark side energy tears him apart. And then he's gone, just ashes on the throne room floor. Anakin collapses. The effort has drained him completely. Every muscle screams. Cybernetics spark. Obi-Wan crawls over, blood on his mouth. Is it finished? Yes. Palpatine is dead. Then we need to move. The Imperial Guard will be here any moment. I can't move. My body is shutting down. Then I'll carry you, like I should have done on Mustafar. Obi-Wan pulls Anakin to his feet. They stumble through the palace. Alarms blare. Stormtroopers pour in. But they're leaderless, confused. The Emperor is dead and they don't know how to respond. The command structure collapses in real time. They fight their way to an escape shuttle. Launch just as TIE fighters scramble. But without Palpatine's coordination, the response is chaotic. They escape into hyperspace. Behind them, the Empire tears itself apart. Moffs fight for control. Star destroyers turn on each other. The totalitarian regime fractures along 1,000 fault lines. News spreads at light speed. Some sectors declare independence. Others descend into civil war. The Death Star project is abandoned. Engineers flee to save themselves. The rebellion moves quickly to fill the power vacuum. They establish a provisional government, begin rebuilding democratic institutions. Mon Mothma is elected interim chancellor. Bail becomes head of restoration. It's messy, complicated, but it's real democracy. Anakin recovers slowly. His body is broken. The confrontation pushed him past his limits, but he's alive. More than he expected, more than he deserved. Padme sits beside his bed. You did it. You actually did it. We did it. All of us. She takes his hand. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm proud of you. That means everything. I know things can never be what they were. Too much has happened, but maybe they can be something new, something real. I'd like that very much. So would I. Luke and Leia visit daily. Young adults now, wise beyond years. The war shaped them, but they still have hope. Father, when you're recovered, will you train us properly, to be Jedi? If Obi-Wan agrees, we do, because you understand both sides, light and dark, temptation and resistance. You can teach us balance. The way the Jedi should have been. Obi-Wan nods. He's right. The old ways failed. We need something new, a new order built on balance rather than suppression. And who better to teach it than someone who's lived both extremes? Years pass, a decade, then two. The galaxy heals slowly. The new republic takes shape. Imperfect, messy, but legitimate. Systems have voice again. Anakin helps train a new generation. Not as masters, but as guardians. They're allowed to love, to feel, to be human. but also taught discipline, how to recognize manipulation, resist corruption, acknowledge darkness without being consumed. It's difficult, but necessary. The new order learns from old failures. Anakin's past is never forgotten. The younglings, the Jedi. These crimes hang over everything. Survivors never forgive. Some call for execution even decades later. But he doesn't hide from it, teaches about it openly, ensures future generations understand the cost, shows how fear can be weaponized. He becomes cautionary tale and symbol of hope, proof that even the fallen can rise through genuine effort. One day, Anakin visits the memorial on Coruscant. Thousands of names carved in black stone. He finds the youngling section, the children he murdered. Their names are here. Lives ended by his hand. He kneels, tears streaming down his aged face. I'm sorry, so deeply sorry. Every day I carry you, your faces, your voices, your trust. I betrayed all of it. Padme stands behind him, silver in her hair now. She places a hand on his shoulder. They know. Wherever they are, they know you tried to make it right. Did I, though? You can't bring them back. Nothing undoes what you did. But you stopped Palpatine, saved countless others, taught a new generation. It doesn't erase your crimes, but it matters. It has to. I hope so, because that hope is all I have. Luke and Leia join them, both Jedi Knights now, powerful, wise, compassionate. They represent the future, better than anyone imagined. Luke places a hand on the memorial. We'll remember them, all of them, every person who died. And we'll make sure their sacrifice means something, by being better than those before, learning from mistakes, building a galaxy where this never happens again. Leia adds her voice, where children train without fear, where emotion is acknowledged, not suppressed, where darkness is understood, not forbidden, where balance is the goal. Anakin stands, his children beside him, his former master watching, the woman he loves supporting him. He spent decades trying to atone, trying to fix what he broke. He'll never fully succeed. Some wounds too deep, some crimes too severe. But he can keep trying, every day, for the rest of his life. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all redemption really is. Not a destination, but a journey. Not forgiveness, but the choice to be better. Not erasing the past, but learning from it. The sun sets over Coruscant. The galaxy continues healing. Slowly, imperfectly, but genuinely. Anakin Skywalker stands with his family watching the stars. There's still good in the galaxy, still hope. And as long as that's true, there's a chance for something better. For everyone. The years after Palpatine's death bring profound change. The new republic establishes itself slowly. Democracy returns. But it's not perfect. Democracy never is. There are arguments, compromises, setbacks. Some systems resist. Others fracture into civil war. Imperial warlords carve out territories. Crime syndicates fill power vacuums. It's messy, complicated, human. But it's real. And it's infinitely better than what came before. Anakin watches from the shadows. He never takes credit publicly. Never steps into the light. His role in Palpatine's death remains classified, known only to a handful of people. The galaxy thinks the Emperor was killed by anonymous rebel commandos, a strike team whose names are lost to history. That's fine with Anakin. He doesn't want recognition, doesn't deserve it. He just wants to help, to teach, to prevent his mistakes from being repeated by future generations. The new Jedi Order takes shape under Luke and Leia's joint guidance. They're careful, deliberate. They don't rush. Don't try to recreate the old order wholesale. Instead, they build something entirely new, Something better. They establish their temple on Ossus, an ancient Jedi world rich with history. But their temple is different from the old temple on Coruscant. Smaller, more humble, open to the public. Not a fortress, not a symbol of power, just a place of learning, of meditation, of service to the galaxy. Jedi come and go freely. They're allowed families, attachments, love. They're encouraged to be part of the galaxy, not separate from it, not above it, just part of it. Teachers, healers, mediators, helpers, nothing more, nothing less. Anakin helps where he can. He teaches classes to small groups of students. He speaks with brutal honesty about his fall, about the warning signs he ignored, the rationalizations he made, the small compromises that led to catastrophic betrayals. He doesn't hold back, doesn't make excuses, doesn't soften the truth for comfort. The students listen with rapt attention. Some are horrified by his story. Others are grateful for his candor. All are fundamentally changed by it. They understand now how easy it is to fall, how important every choice is, how constant vigilance is required, not against external enemies, against internal ones, fear, anger, pride, attachment twisted into possession, the darkness that lives within everyone. One young student asks him directly, "Master Skywalker, how do you live with what you've done? How do you wake up every morning knowing you murdered children?" The room goes silent. Everyone waits for his answer. Anakin takes a long moment before responding. "I don't have a good answer to that. Some days I can barely function under the weight of guilt, the crushing knowledge of what I did. Other days I focus on helping just one person, saving one life, teaching one lesson, making one small difference. I break it down into manageable pieces, one choice at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. It's not about achieving forgiveness or redemption. Those are beyond me. It's about forward motion, about being slightly better today than I was yesterday. That's all I can offer, all I have." Another student raises her hand hesitantly. "Do you think you've redeemed yourself after all these years?" "No. Redemption implies balance. That good deeds can somehow cancel out evil ones. They can't. Mathematics doesn't work that way. Morality doesn't work that way. The Force doesn't work that way. I killed younglings, children who trusted me. No amount of good works can erase that. No number of lives saved can bring them back to life. The scales will never balance. But I can honor their memory by preventing others from falling as I did, by teaching what I learned through my failures, by using my story as a warning to future generations. That's not redemption. It's responsibility. It's penance. It's all I have to offer." The students absorb this sobering lesson. It's harsh, uncomfortable, but valuable beyond measure. They understand now that being a Jedi isn't about power or titles or recognition. It's about service, about choice, about being better than your worst impulses. Every single day, without exception. Luke observes these lessons with quiet approval. His father has become a far better teacher than he ever was as a Jedi Knight, because he knows failure intimately, knows darkness in all its forms, knows the terrible cost of wrong choices. That hard-earned knowledge is invaluable for training the next generation. Padme continues her vital work with the New Republic Senate. She represents Naboo once again, fighting tirelessly for the ideals she's always believed in: justice, democracy, compassion for all beings. She's older now, noticeably tired, her hair completely silver, lines deeply etched around her eyes and mouth. But she's still passionate, still utterly committed to making the galaxy better. She and Anakin have built something resembling a marriage again over the years. Not romantic like their youth, not passionate like Naboo, but real, honest, earned. They respect each other deeply, trust each other completely, love each other in their own complicated way. It's not what they once had. That innocent love is gone forever. But what they have now is something different, something maybe even stronger, because it was built on truth and hard work and mutual growth. One quiet evening, they sit together on a balcony on Naboo, watching the sunset paint the sky in brilliant oranges and deep purples. Beautiful, peaceful, perfect. "Do you ever regret it?" she asks softly. "Regret what specifically?" "Giving me that second chance, letting me back into your life, into your heart. You could have walked away, started completely over, found someone uncomplicated, someone better, someone who didn't try to kill you." He takes her hand gently, his cybernetic fingers intertwining with her flesh ones. "Never. Not for a single moment. Not once in all these years. You saved me, Padme. Gave me something to fight for. Something to live for beyond mere survival. Without you and the children, I would have given up long ago, become nothing but bitterness and regret, died empty and utterly alone. You gave me purpose, meaning, a chance to become better than what I was. I'll never regret that. Never." She leans against him. "We've had such a strange life together, haven't we? The strangest, absolutely the strangest, filled with pain and joy and everything in between, every possible human experience compressed into one lifetime. But I wouldn't trade it. Not the good parts anyway. Those are precious, worth keeping, worth cherishing forever." They sit in comfortable silence as darkness falls. Two people who've been through literally everything together, who've seen each other at their absolute best and horrifying worst, who've chosen to stay together despite every reason not to. It's not a fairy tale, not even close, but it's real, authentic, true. And sometimes, real is infinitely better than any fantasy. Obi-Wan grows old with surprising grace. He continues teaching and training and guiding the new generation of Jedi. But his body is betraying him now. Age finally catching up after decades of war and hardship. His movements are slower, his joints ache, his breathing labored. One afternoon, he summons Anakin to his private chambers. "Sit with me, old friend. We need to talk seriously. Is something wrong? Are you ill? I'm dying. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon, very soon. The Force has shown me this clearly. I wanted you to know, to prepare." Anakin's throat tightens painfully. "How long do you have?" "Months, perhaps. Maybe only weeks. The Force is unclear on specifics. But I'm not afraid, Anakin. I've lived a remarkably full life, done meaningful work, trained extraordinary students who will change the galaxy. I'm ready for what comes next, at peace with it. But before I go, I need to tell you something important. Something I should have said years ago. You were the best student I ever had. The most challenging, certainly. The most frustrating, without question. But absolutely the best. You pushed me constantly, made me better, forced me to grow. Even when you fell, even when you became Vader, you taught me something invaluable. That people are endlessly complicated. That good and evil aren't simple absolutes. That everyone deserves a genuine chance at redemption, no matter their crimes. You gave me that crucial lesson, and I'm eternally grateful for it. Anakin's eyes fill with tears that spill down his scarred cheeks. Obi-Wan, you saved my life on Mustafar. Gave me a chance when I deserved absolutely nothing but death. You were so much more than a master, more than a friend even. You were my brother, my anchor in chaos, my conscience when I had none. Everything good I've done, everything I've become is because you believed in me, because you refused to give up on me. Thank you for everything, for patience, for faith, for love. They embrace tightly. Two old warriors, teachers, brothers, bound by history and deep affection and shared suffering. When they finally part, both have tears streaming down their weathered faces. Obi-Wan Kenobi dies peacefully 6 months later in his sleep. He becomes one with the Force, his presence not disappearing, but transforming beautifully, spreading out across the entire galaxy, touching everyone he ever trained, everyone he ever loved. Anakin feels it clearly, feels his old master's profound peace, his deep contentment, his boundless love. And despite his grief, he smiles through his tears. Rest well, my dear friend, my brother. You've more than earned it. The years continue their relentless passage. Anakin grows noticeably older, frailer by the day, his cybernetics failing one system at a time, his remaining organic parts wearing out. He knows his time is very limited now. He's made complete peace with that reality, ready for whatever comes next. One afternoon, while teaching a class, he suddenly feels it. A sharp disturbance in the Force. Something terribly wrong. He immediately excuses himself and reaches out desperately, searching frantically. He finds Luke and Leia. They're in grave danger. A mission gone catastrophically wrong. Imperial remnants, far too many enemies, insufficient backup, surrounded. Without even thinking, Anakin moves. He commandeers a ship, flies at maximum speed to their coordinates, arrives to find them completely surrounded, badly outnumbered, fighting desperately for survival. He lands his ship directly between them and their attackers, steps out slowly, lightsaber igniting with that familiar snap hiss. Get to your ship immediately. I'll hold them off as long as I can. Father, no. You're not strong enough for this. Your body can't take the strain. Probably not. But I'm all you've got right now. So please go. That's a direct order from your father. He engages the enemy forces without hesitation. His body is old now, slow, weak, but his skill remains sharp. His determination absolute. His lightsaber flashes in familiar patterns. Enemies fall. He's buying precious time, buying his children their only chance to escape. He knows with absolute certainty he won't survive this fight. His body simply can't withstand the strain anymore. But that's perfectly okay. This is exactly how it should end. Protecting his children. Dying for something that genuinely matters. Finally getting the hero's death he should have had decades ago. A blaster bolt penetrates his defense, hits his chest solidly. He staggers badly. Another bolt hits his leg. He falls hard. But he keeps fighting somehow, keeps blocking desperately, keeps holding that critical line. Luke and Leia's ship finally lifts off, escapes, safe at last. That's all that matters now. Everything that ever mattered. Anakin collapses completely, his body utterly failing, blood pooling steadily beneath him, but he smiles peacefully. This is a good death, a worthy death, the kind of death he should have had so many years ago on Mustafar. He closes his eyes slowly, feels the Force flowing through him, feels Obi-Wan waiting patiently for him, feels even the younglings he murdered, waiting to judge him finally. He's ready, completely ready, ready to face them all, ready to apologize properly at last, ready for whatever judgment awaits. His very last thought is of his children, safe, alive, so much better than he ever was. That's enough, more than enough, finally enough. He dies with a genuine smile on his ravaged face, at peace for the first time in his entire complicated, painful, beautiful life. That's our theory. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you want to accompany us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.